tennis. Last time morning.
Peace. Different from our views. Survive to subscribe. Got a you. And as always, or where you see us in YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, give us a like if you like what we did. So, yeah, I think about, let me see, how many chucks will I give this one?
Rashad, can you hear me?
What?
You're inverted, bro. You're inverted.
I can what you're saying doesn't make sense.
You're inverted. You need to uninvert yourself. Uninvert yourself. You're going backwards. You're going backwards. Yeah. Go ahead and.
All right. It is time yet again for yet another episode of Color Commentary, where we give you views from a different side. Sorry about that. I went through the wrong side of the turnstile there. I apologize, but now I'm all good. I'm going the same direction. We are all tenanted, locked up together. As Chuck, I think he mentioned that we're going to be talking about the movie, Tenet, which I did not see in theaters. I know Chuck wasn't. We're not risking our lives for that.
No.
Sorry, but we will tell you what we thought about it. Of course, I am Rashad Waters, and this is my co-host,
Chuck Taylor here, guys.
All right, let's do it,
if
sir.
If you can, make sure you guys subscribe to us. Check us out on our platform. We are definitely doing a lot more content now that we got a little control of this COVID thing, at least for our side of things. So definitely check us out, subscribe, and check us out on all the platforms. Let's go.
All right, so it's time for our non-spoiler review. Chuck, why don't you go ahead and break it down and tell us how much that you were confused.
I laughed just to say this. This movie, this is your non-spoiler review. This thing is confusing. This movie was confusing. I had to rewind it and take a couple. Did I miss something here?
I will add to that. It's particularly confusing because the black market copy that I think everybody is watching is not the best. I've seen it on a couple of different platforms. It's the same one.
I'm not going to give that as due. I just said the movie, because I'm going to just be honest with you, even on all the reviews I looked at on it, the first thing everybody said, yeah, this is a very complex movie. If I was trying to explain to you, it would take like 20 minutes to an hour. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how this was. So if you love complex plots and trying to understand a movie and see all the cool little scenes and things that people may have missed, I find that it's a great movie for you. I can say, what's his son's name? I always call him
John David.
John who?
John David Washington.
John David Washington.
He's got all the white person.
I like him. I like him in a lot of in all his other movies and TV shows. I like him in here, but he kind of plays the same type of character to me. The way he talks, he doesn't change. It's like his dad. His dad don't change on none of his movies either.
Right.
But so
he talks like his dad. He don't look nothing like his dad, but he talks just like him.
Yeah, he talk like him.
He definitely must take after his mom.
What is that?
I said, you definitely must take after his mom in terms of appearance. Like, that's son. It don't look nothing like him.
I feel you. My first time really seeing him was in the The Rock's HBO show, the football show that he was in. So that's kind of where every time I see him, I remember him from that show as a wide receiver diva type of dude, and he's cocky. So every time I see him in any other picture, I always go right back to that. And I'm like, he still acts the exact same way, just about. So, but for non-spoiler purposes, I think the movie looked good. I did like how it looked. I liked the action. It was, again, I'm going to say it was a little hard to follow on some scenes and some parts. It kind of took you from one little spot and it took you all the way over here and then brought you back over here. And then like, oh, we're gonna fill you in here, but no, we're gonna take you on this side. This is something different. Oh, you didn't know about this, but here. I'm like, what is happening on this show, on this movie? But I think after I watched it a few times, I'm gonna say that I did think it was a pretty decent movie. I ain't gonna say I liked it, but I did have more respect for it and what they tried to do with how complex the movie is to really watch. At least in my view. I like how they took challenges and risks in this movie, and they didn't just try to just have something sugar cut and just, make it just like any other type of action, secret agent type of movie. So I appreciate them for that. What about you?
I'm kind of the same way, that it took me a second in order to really appreciate it. I watched it one time, I was like, that was okay. Actually, a good portion of the movie, I was like, there's a lot of talking. There is a lot of talking. Like when the movie first comes on, you get a little something, and then it's like, there's a lot of talking. And when you watch a copy that you can't understand everything, and everything that people say is important, then yeah, it was kind of losing my interest a little bit. But I don't know if it was halfway through. I guess there's a certain point, and I think you'll realize it. Once you get there, it's all worth it. Like all the talking was like, oh, okay, like I'm good now. All right, this is good. I really the sprint to the end was good. And then once you go off and you have to go and watch YouTube videos after it's over, so you understand what it is that you watched. Then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So I actually really liked the movie after I understood it. Having watched it a second time, it was then I was able to pick out, all the different things that people said. Like, oh, that's what he said. That's what he's talking about. Blah, 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 yakety smackety. So I really liked the movie. But again, you do have to go in with an open mind. I will say it's not for everybody. I'm the type of person, I'm very open-minded, at least when it comes to, science fiction and plots that are kind of out there. As long as it has a plot, like movies that don't have a plot, like me and one of my coworkers, we argue about the movie Rosa. Like it won all these awards. I don't know if it won awards, but it was very highly recommended. Yeah, I was not feeling that because it didn't really feel like it had a plot. This movie has a definite plot. It's just a little confusing. You have to really pay attention. I'm open to those type of things. And so, if you can get with that type of movie, I appreciate it. All right. So now it's time for a spoiler review. So we're going to do our spoiler review backwards because we're inverted. How you say that?
Inverted? Invert view?
Rip tops. Here you go. There you go. Spoiler review. Rip tops, rip tops, rip tops. Rip tops, rip tops, rip tops. Rip tops, rip tops, rip tops. Rip tops, rip tops, rip tops.
Okay, yeah. See, that's why you're smart like that. Because I was like, what are you saying? Yeah, spoiler for us that don't know backwards talking. Get a little spoiler in this movie. It won't be much for me because I'm still working on it.
Really?
But I get, yeah. Why don't you go first? I want to actually hear you, because then that may actually help me with my spoiler. I'm like, cause I'm probably gonna say something completely wrong. Like I didn't even see this whole part here.
Okay. So starting at the beginning of the movie is still confusing to me. And I've heard a couple different explanations of exactly what was going on. That's the only part. It's like, why is he here exactly? Who is he with? Who just saved him? How did that bullet come backward when he hadn't shot it yet? All of that was kind of a little bit confusing to me. So if you can get past that first scene, that's when everything makes sense. From there, it's just a lot of talking. Okay? It's a ton of talking, but everything that they say is very, very important. And I'm not doing the explanation of the movie, so I can't tell you everything that they say unless Chuck asks me questions about it when it's your turn. I'll tell you what they said. We're not doing the explanation of it. I will say that the cinematography was amazing. Again, this is the spoiler review. When you see his fight at the Freeport, which is something I learned about, I didn't know what a Freeport was. It's yet another way that rich people save money. A Freeport, if you didn't realize from the movie, basically, instead of rich people bringing their art into the country, where they have to pay taxes on it. They just keep it at the airport, and then they just go to see it there, and then they don't have to pay taxes. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. All right. We live down the street from RDU. I wonder what I could keep over there and not have to pay taxes on it. I just keep my place over there. I have to pay property taxes, right? Keep my car over there. Where's your car registered? I set the free. Let me see here. But that fight, the first fight that you see with John David versus that black assailant, that's a pretty cool fight. And then you find out that there was two of them, but it actually was one person. Like, oh, okay. And then to come and see that fight again later, when you realize that John David fights himself, and you're like, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fat because now they're going to play it in backwards, and you're going to see all the physics in reverse, like reaching for a gun and the gun is traveling to him. It's like, oh, all of that is cool. There's even a scene in there where he's like shooting at himself, but I guess it makes sense because since he's already been there, he knows he misses every time. But hopefully he knows that. I mean, that stuff, yeah, time travel is flexible. Right? You just killed yourself, And initially, you see him get sucked out of the Freeport, and then you realize why that happened because he's going into it. Like all of that is dope. I like that. I like anything that involves things going in reverse. Like I'm all about that. The car chase is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that car chase was nice.
Yeah,
that car chase was funny.
And then the big battle at the end. Again, it makes a lot more sense once you understand it. Because at first I was like, who's who? I don't know. Because I don't know that they did say it was the red team and the blue team, but it was like passing conversation. So I didn't know to pay attention to blue and red. So I'm just watching, and you can't ever see anybody's face. I'm like, who is who? So after watching it the second time, I'm like, okay, watch for the blue team. They're going backwards. Watch for the red team. They're going straight ahead. John is on the red team. Neil is on the blue team. Okay, I got it. And then at the end, when you realize, I don't know if you picked up on this, Chuck, but you know that Neil had to sacrifice himself at the end. Did you catch that?
No, I did not catch that.
Okay. All right. So,
see?
John, right? I told you the movie is so good if you just got to know what you're watching. So John and I are trying to get to the algorithm, right? And they're blocked by this cage, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they can't get any further, okay? And then the Russian guy is like standing over there and he's about to shoot. In the meantime, there's a dead body that's on the ground, right? Well, the dead body gets up and like the bullet comes out of him and then he unlocks the door, and lets them in. And then if you watch it carefully, you actually see the dead body. He runs out backwards out of the building where they're fighting.
Okay.
Yeah. What's important about that is when they first see the dead body, they like search him to see if he got a grenade to see if it'll help us get through this wall. And that's when you see he's got a little red string in his book bag. Well, that's what Neil has. Neil has a red string hanging out the back of his book bag. So when you see him walk off at the end, you see that. So you realize that after even though he saved John, then by pulling him out the truck, he's got to go and invert himself and save him yet another time. And he's going to sacrifice his life to do. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what.
All right.
So, like I said, once you watch all the YouTube videos to explain it, I think it's a good movie. I think it's going to last for a while. I hate that it
brain overload right now.
What's that?
I'm having a brain overload right now. I gotta go rewatch it again so I can understand what I didn't understand.
I hate that it came out when it did because of the quarantine, because not that many people probably saw it as it could have. But that's all I got. I heard a lot of reviews about people saying the characters were dry or they didn't understand and having the personality. I didn't care about that. They had enough personality to tell a story, and that was fine for me. So
cool.
Then the main guy had a bunch of personality. You talk about, I'll cut your throat. Not the ones that I won't cut your throat. Cut your throat. vertically and cut your balls off and down your throat.
Pretty graphic.
Yeah.
He had some issues. I know his wife. He put his hands on his wife. He was like, "Dang!" He was like, "Okay, I don't like this dude. This dude's like seriously got issues." But yeah, my spoiler, I guess if you want to call it, I didn't necessarily. I thought the movie was okay. I did not like it the first time I saw it. It did because I don't like if I can't understand the movie the first time, at least like most of it, then I'm not gonna say that I'm not smart enough to understand it. I watch a lot of movies, but I don't think they did a very good job with really helping the audience to really follow along and kind of investing themselves in the character. Because to be honest, I didn't care about anybody in this movie at all. Like, I didn't care about who died. Like when he died at the beginning of the movie, like I was like, I don't care. I still don't know what's going on. Like, okay. So they didn't. To me, the movie didn't do a good job with actually bringing the audience with it. Like, it didn't invest us enough in the movie. It just was so complex in a way that they forgot the main portion of the movie is that they want to draw the audience in, then connect with the audience so the audience has experience. If the experience is just like, look over here, and then something different happens over here, and then something's going backwards over here, and somebody's going to talk and whisper to each other about what this even does, but then they don't explain anything, and then it goes over here on this section, and this happens, and then, oh, why is he on? I'm like, they were introducing characters so fast, and then they didn't explain why they were introducing the characters, and then you have to watch, I guess, the whole
where
movie.
these people came from.
Yeah, it was like just like the next scene is some random new person that's a main part of the movie that's gonna be on the next 5-6 scenes. I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this girl? Like, how are they connected? What's happening here? So I didn't like that. I think they were trying to be too smart. I guess I was like, oh, we're gonna have this so complex movie. We're gonna go backwards. It's gonna be crazy. People aren't gonna understand it. Yeah, people aren't gonna understand it, and that's why people probably aren't gonna watch it. So, but you can go make your $20 million or $10 million for if you make that, and you might cost yourself. I don't know how much it costs to make the movie. I can't give fault necessarily to John, Denzel's son. I mean, he did his best, I guess. With what he had. I wish I would have saw some more brothers or sisters in there. You know, we got Lone Ranger in this movie. Like, yeah,
of course they did exactly. Of course, they did exactly what we talked about recently.
Exactly.
We talked about how Black Panther has changed things. Where it used to be only one. If there was a black lead, he was the only one in the movie. And then, sure enough, there was not a single black soul in that whole movie. Not one.
Not one. I didn't like somebody in the background walking in. It was just. I was like, what? Ain't no black people in this movie? All right, brother. Like, hope you make it through. It was a lonely road. Hope
you don't invert yourself back to the civil rights era.
For real. I guess I can say I did like the fight scenes when they were backwards. That was something I've never seen before. So it's like seeing the guy like fall and then kind of flip up over him, and flip up over. And then like kind of running on the walls, and then that was kind of cool. And then seeing like the bullets holes already, but then when they're fighting, the bullets going back into the gun was like, okay, I'm starting to get this a little bit. This is kind of neat. I just felt that they definitely should have had less talking. Like maybe had something to really explain what inverting was, like what that even like what the concept is, and how it actually is going to hurt and affect things. I know they talked about it in the world and everything, can stop all the time, blah blah blah, but they kind of brushed over it, so we couldn't really follow it because there was so much information coming on with following which characters were going on.
Chuck and I had a conversation where I had to create an Excel document. I was like, okay, it's kind of like
He did. I called you. And you was like, literally had to like, all right, look at this right here. He was like showing me how it was going backwards. So you see how you did this, and this, and then you would just do this, and this the other way, but you're doing the same things, but it's different. But you don't know it's different. I'm like, all right. So, I'm gonna just leave it like that. Not too much spoiler because it's hard to spoil this movie, to be honest with you. I want to kind of see what everybody else thought. If you saw it, definitely drop some comments if you liked the movie. You know, if this was the best movie you ever seen, or some maybe you're like me, or you're like Chad, we just thought it was okay. It was a pretty decent movie after you watched it a few times. So definitely leave your comments and let us know about that. But what about how many chucks did you give this one, sir?
Well, let me ask you this real quick before I go, and then I'm gonna open the floor for questions. Did you realize that Kat thought that her husband was having an affair?
I thought she was having an affair.
Right, but she was also thought he was having an affair, and that was one of the reasons why their marriage was estranged. Okay, because it's very quick. But when she first talks to John David, she says, I remember we were in Vietnam, and I was on my boat sailing back to our yacht, and I saw this woman dive off the boat. It actually shows a woman diving off the boat, but it happened so quickly, it's easy to not even pay attention to it. That's why I say every line in this movie is important. Well, do you realize who that woman is?
Is it her?
Yeah, it's her. She saw herself diving off the boat. So she was that her husband wasn't having an affair. That was herself from the future after she had killed him.
Wow. All right. Well, I want to go watch this again. Maybe I will love it the fourth time I look through it and I'll actually understand it again.
And did you realize that people believe that Neil's character, Robert Pattinson, is actually the little boy?
Really?
Yeah.
That's what so we don't learn that in the movie. That's just a theory.
Well, there's a lot, and there's a lot of theories, and it makes a lot of sense. One of the things. So the boy's name is Max, right? But what is Max short for? Max is short for Maximilian. If you look at the last few letters of that, you can spell it a couple of different ways. One way to spell it is Lien, Maximilian, Lien. If you convert that, it's Neil.
All right, I'm gonna go to the next movie. I'm gonna give this 4.5 chucks.
4.5? Really?
4.5 chucks. Now it was gonna be 5.5, and then you just started telling me this. Now I'm just like, I ain't bothered. It took too much time on my life. I'm kind of pissed at them to just keep making them super, super complex. I gotta go back and rewatch the show over and over and over. They're mad. So no, you get 4.5 chucks just for making me mad.
You get 4.5 vengeful chucks.
4.5 chucks.
I'm going to give this one. I'm not going to even give any decimals with this one. I'm going to give it a solid 8. I'm going to give it 8.
What?
I really like it. Yes, I like this movie. Yeah. The more that I think about it, the more that I like it. I think it's going to last for a long time. I think people will debate it and talk about it, for a long time. I think it will very proudly take its place next to Inception when it comes to movies that have these weird twists and things like that. So.
Now you say Exception, that kind of definitely brings them close together. They're kind of that was a confusing movie as well. So.
I just think it would have been a whole lot better if I saw it in the theaters, but I could have actually understood what it said. So I'm gonna give the movie an 8. I'm gonna give the black market copy a 6.
All right, I'll go with that.
All right. Well, if you like what we did, make sure to give us a like, and make sure wherever you see us, whether it be Facebook or on YouTube or on Instagram. It's so hard to do this forward when you've done it backwards. And as usual, you've got to subscribe. This is Color Commentary, where we give you views from a different side. Peace.
Good morning.